Hello, Alafia. Happy Saturday. Happy weekend, everybody. Happy World Doula Week. We have been flying through this week. Time is going by so fast. And I did make a little mini calendar of things that I wanted to just kind of put out into the universe, put out there for resources as we're celebrating birth workers and doulas and all of the people who support moms and families in their welcoming new life into the world. And so today I wanted to hop on and talk a little bit about a big issue with not only pregnant women in general, but of course specifically for Black and brown moms, which is stress in pregnancy. Um, if you have given birth, if you are planning to give birth, if you're expecting like I am right now, 28, what, almost 28 weeks, y'all. So I'm trucking along in my third trimester here. But there are so many different elements of the birth process that you go through as a birthing parent, as a person who has to juggle different things in your life. You have so many people involved, but it can sometimes feel like you're in it by yourself. I wanted to talk about stress in pregnancy because when it comes to labor and delivery, a lot of women focus on pain management, money for the delivery, all the way down to clothes and nursery stuff and what it's going to be like afterwards, which is the postpartum side of things. So there is a lot to think about. And what I typically tell my clients is it's important for you to break these things down in a way that allows you to think clearly. The way the mind works is like a file cabinet. And so if you have too many things added at one time, if you're trying to focus on 18 different things and grow a baby, it's going to affect you in a different way. Why is that? Well, because we're also dealing with hormones. We're dealing with biological things that are not in our power. So it's very important for us to understand some of the issues and concerns that's going to come to us as we're preparing for birth, when we get pregnant, so that we don't get overwhelmed. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about the types of stress. I wanted to talk about the factors of stress, the effects of stress, and then lastly, how can we reduce stress? How can we bring ourselves to manage it, which is the most important factor, right? So the first thing is the types of stress. So when I'm talking about types of stress, I just said that labor and birth is a lot, right? You're going to have a lot of different things that's going to come your way. You're going to have a lot of things to think about, especially if you're a brand new mom. But we have to be able to decipher severe stress, moderate stress, and mild stress. If we're talking about severe stress, we're talking about traumas. We're talking about things that have happened to you maybe in your past, maybe in your past pregnancies. That could be miscarriages, that could be sexual abuse, that could be domestic abuse, that could be being mistreated in a hospital with your last pregnancy, not being heard. These are traumas. And what traumas can do in a pregnancy aspect is not only does it affect your mind, but it definitely starts to affect your body. Because of the spiritual side of birth with your womb, we're also can be dealing with certain blockages that you might come into, you might have issues with. So being able to recognize trauma. How do I recognize trauma? Have I been traumatized? Lord, do I know? If you find yourself unable to talk about a certain subject, if you find yourself dreaming constantly or focusing on childbirth. I had a client one time that was afraid of death during her birth. Night terrors, nightmares, you name it, sweats. This is a severe type of stress level in pregnancy, which is very hurtful to you and possibly baby. So that's trauma. When we're talking about moderate changes, moderate stress, what does that look like? Moderate stresses are going to be your life changes. So thinking if you're a brand new mom, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to go out. Or, oh my God, I'm going to be a machine. If you're breastfeeding, I'm like a milk machine. You know, there's going to be transitions that's going to have to be understood by you as you become and you prepare to be a mom to this little one. So moderate stress is something that most pregnant women are going to go through. The realization of having a baby, and being able to adjust in order to make that happen. Mild stress, these are just now most, I will say, go ahead, all women have mild stress in pregnancy. And what that basically means is organizing things. You've heard of nesting, moms who are out here cleaning and organizing and figuring out their baby registries, if they're going to have a baby shower, and who's going to be in the room, figuring out your birth plan. These are what we would consider mild stresses. If I come in contact, or if you feel like that you have severe trauma or severe stress, you need to seek help. You won't be you might feel like you can't manage that by yourself. We're also categorizing PTSD in severe stress. These types of feelings and stresses are a lot of times with moms, you need help organizing your thoughts in order to work through that on top of your hormones. Factors of stress, I've kind of touched a little bit on that, but I do want to explain to women, because a lot of times when I talk about the stress conversation, it kind of goes in one ear and out the other. Yeah, I'm stressing. But down in your hormonal system, endocrine system, your immune system, being able to sleep, all of these factors are very important for the development of your baby. So if you allow something to get away from you, or if you feel like you're out of control, or you're not able to manage your stress level, you're chaotic, when you wake up in the morning, you're just stressing, it's time to create a plan. You can create a plan with your birth partner. That could be your spouse or your significant other. Of course, doulas. We can create that stress management plan for you. We also have resources for psychologists or mentors or counselors or mental health certified counselors or therapists that can help you manage your stress specifically for labor. It might be, a lot of times with women, it'll be work-life balance. I'm pregnant first trimester, but I'm already thinking about what my job is going to say. Or I'm already thinking about maternity leave. Or I'm already thinking about how in the world am I going to juggle going back to work in a classroom or going back to work 9 to 5 and I have a little one. These are things that can also be, the stress level can be eliminated or lessened by postpartum planning, which doulas also do. So these are all things that we need to consider when we're looking at our stress levels. Another thing I wanted to talk about is specifically is the effects. So you have direct effects and indirect effects of stress. Some of your direct stresses might lead to you feeling fatigued. It might lead to your, having headaches or aches and pains, different things like that, stress related. But you also have to consider when you're stressed and pregnant, not only you are feeling that, but it goes down to baby, and it can affect your fetal development. It can affect the way that that baby is actually being or growing. It can affect physiological issues. And so when we get down to moderate stresses, traumas, severe stresses, physicians really need to be a part, counselors need to be a part, because we don't want that to affect baby's growth and how baby comes into the universe, right? These things are important. To talk about stress, again, I like to open up and just let you all know about the support group if you don't, for Melanin Motherhood. Typically, when we meet with the ladies, we are meeting the second Saturday of each month, and we're able to talk about our stresses. We're able to open up a room. What can we do? How do we reduce stress? What are some of the techniques that we can do? We talk about these things in Melanin Motherhood all the time. because it's needed. So when we're talking about reducing stress, what can we do? A postpartum plan is always key. What does that mean? What is a postpartum plan? Who's going to be around you? Is there anybody who can be on call for you and your baby if you absolutely need a minute, or you need an hour, or you need to sleep? Do you have people in your village? Who's your village is typically what I say. Get a list, write those people's name down, check in with them, let them know, hey, once baby gets here, could you support me in some capacity? So having a postpartum plan is one of the major reducers of stress, because you already know who's there, who you got, and what your plan is. The second thing I like to tell mothers is to not meditate, although meditation is key, but to be still. Angela, I gotta do this. I gotta do this. You have to maintain your peace and being still. That's from the first trimester all the way through your postpartum. Because if you're not able to be still and concentrate and level yourself, your stress is going to be unmanageable. It's going to feel chaotic, and you're not going to feel like you have a grasp on it. So being able to actually be still, it doesn't take a lot of time. In the morning when you're making a cup of coffee, or you're making a cup of hot tea, or you go use the bathroom, everybody pee in the morning, everybody go to the bathroom, take a couple extra minutes, close the door, keep your stillness, keep your peace, manage it, and make sure that you maintain it. Another thing that I like to tell my moms as far as reducing stress is to talk about it. I will tell you, for black and brown moms, this is one of the hardest things that we have to do, is to speak our truth when it comes to what we deal with. Because we are naturally nurturers, we are naturally fixers, we are naturally, wanting to do the most. But we have to be able to be honest when we need help. And that's one of the hardest things. These conversations on stress, they're not really out there. You can, of course, Google YouTube, and I'll post a couple of videos today about stress and pregnancy, and a lot of moms telling their stories. But it starts there. People can't help you if they don't know what's going on, right? We can't support if we don't know what you need. So being able to communicate is a key element in reducing stress. If you feel like you can't talk to your partner about it, talk to a doula, talk to an auntie, talk to a grandma, talk to someone about it, so that you know that you're not in it by yourself, because that's the hardest thing to deal with. And then the last thing I'll tell you for reducing stress is to have patience. There's nothing wrong with you. Your hormones, your body, you're literally growing another human inside of you. If you are pregnant, you know hormone changes, mood changes, stresses come and go. But it's important for you to be patient and for you to recognize that this is a normal process. A lot of times that helps women kind of calmly approach the stress that they're dealing with versus freaking out. You have to be able to feel like you can manage it and not make it chaotic, okay? So with that being said, if there is anybody who is dealing with stress in pregnancy currently, of course you can always direct message me here at Sabi Birth Services. You can email me at sabibirthservices@gmail.com. Again, I have resources. I have licensed therapists I can put you in contact with, psychologists I can put you in contact with if you're dealing with trauma or severe stress, postpartum depression, postpartum anxieties. We can help with that. It doesn't matter if you had a doula for your birth. It doesn't matter if you birth your baby in a hospital, C-section, medicine. All that is irrelevant when it comes to stress management. If you are scared about even getting pregnant, reach out to us. We can maybe talk you through a little bit of information of what to expect and support systems. Again, I'll just make the announcement real quick that our Melanin Motherhood is on April the 9th at Everman's on 9 Mile. A cooperative 9 Mile is the location. And so we'll be there, and we will be there with a group of women. And we're going to come with babies and bottles and breastfeeding and all the good stuff that we need to support each other, because the village is key. Again, hope you all enjoy your Saturday. It's beautiful outside. Spring is here. Sit outside. That's stress reducer too. That's one of my main ones. I don't want to leave that out. I sit outside and I sip tea, hot tea, cold tea, lukewarm tea. Find your ritual. Find the thing that you feel in your spirit calms your energy, and do that and stay committed to it. Your main job, remember, is growing this baby and staying healthy. That's it. Everything else will have to maneuver around that. This is the most important job in your life, and you're going to be fine. You're going to be great. So contact me if you need me. I will see you all tomorrow for the next day of World Doula Week. And I hope that you all enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Adabo.